Hi Scorpio, welcome to Key Wisdom Tarot. My name is Ruth, I'm your Reiki Master and Tarot Reader, and this is your Sun, Moon and Stars reading for February into March 2020. We're going to look at three distinct areas for you in this reading. We're going to look at your Sun or Divine Masculine, which is your actions and experiences in the month of February. We'll then look at the Moon section of your reading, which is your emotions, your intuition, what's hidden and what's going on beneath the surface for you in the month of February. And then finally we'll look at the stars section of the reading, which is everything that's to come at the end of February and as we go into March 2020. Okay, so it covers about 5 weeks. Now I've already shuffled and I've already meditated. I'll do a little bit more of that on camera and then we'll get started on your reading. That wants to be in the base of the reading, and it's the 10 of Cups. Okay, my lovely Scorpio, so the card at the base of the reading, in your instance the 10 of Cups, is the perspective that you need to see this next sort of 5 to 6 weeks through. And for you guys, that's the 10 of Cups. Now the 10 of Cups is Cups energy, so it's related to our emotions, our intuition. It's a beautiful card to start the reading with, or to have the base of the reading, because it's a card that indicates happiness. Not happiness, actually, joy. Joy it's that well within you. It's knowing what makes you happy, and it's having those things, understanding what makes true happiness, and having access to those things, being able to see those, or being able to reach out and want those things. So it's interesting, we're going to be interesting to see the experiences of what is actually going to happen. This understanding of what makes you happy, really does change things for us, understanding what we need and we want that's going to make us happy. So let's have a look then at the individual aspects for you. So we'll look at the Sun first of all. Wow. So we're looking at, this is actions and experiences. So we've got victory, we've got celebration with the six of Wands. We then have number 7, the Chariot. Next we have the Ace of Wands, and then we have the 4 of Pentacles. This is your actions and experiences. Just bear with me a second because I'm getting a... Okay. The messages for this, it seems to be around these two energies here that the energy is coming from. So we'll look at those in a second. So we'll start with this card here, the Six of Wands. Number 6 is related to it's related to love. It's related to your third eye. So this is really a card of recognition. It's really a card of, as I said, knowing. I mean, the affirmation for the 6th chakra is I know and I think. So there's an understanding of what where it is you want to go, what it is you want to do, and that's something that you have been seemingly working towards or trying to work towards, knowing what's going to make you happy. There's this it's like there's a celebration or something to be celebrated. Some people could be getting married, for example, but on a personal and individual level, for the individual Scorpios out there, just we're not all getting married, are we? I mean, you get February anyway. There's a victory here. There's something that can be celebrated. There's either, a consensus that is reached or an agreement that is reached, one that is favourable to you, one that takes into account your personal joy, one that appeals to that. You are victorious in a specific area. As I said, for some people that might be that you're getting married, but for general, for general readings, we are looking at happiness achieved, maybe even wealth for some people, maybe a win or something that, or an inheritance maybe. It's an interesting energy for you because generally we just call this the victory card. But with sixes, it's also linked to balance. It's also linked to love. So it's about bringing in balance and love. And it's also about acceptance or accepting. So someone accepting your terms or you accepting somebody else's terms. There's a lot that's been going on though. This seems like it's been an ongoing situation. A crisis that's been ongoing. And it's now there's been a lot of, it's like everything has been up in the air, everything's been all up in the air, and now finally in the month of February everything settles and you can see everything. It's like a flower bomb, and you throw a firebomb, a flower bomb, and flower goes everywhere, and everything's obscured. You can't really see anything. Flour is in what you bake with. So flour's going everywhere, and it's like everything's been everywhere, up in the air, and it's been obscuring your way forward. And it's as if now in February things settle down, and you can see clearly. You can see clearly what you understand clearly what makes you happy. And that's a victory in itself. There's also a consensus potentially reached. Whether that consensus is with yourself, I'm only going to be honest, for example, that might be a consensus that you reach with yourself, or I'm going to show myself compassion and this other person compassion, for example. It's as if there's a consensus reached, and that is something that helps you to feel victorious, and it helps you to feel as though you've achieved something. Now, these two, so there's been an ongoing situation. Now, these two energies are very, if I look at I'm not looking at these two cards now because I can't focus on them. Because when I look at these two cards together, it's as if everything's shaking and shimmering. When I see that with my third eye, between my eyebrows, everything's shaking and shimmering. And it tells me that there's been a lot of destruction, a lot of power. Number 7 actually on the Tree of Life is actually Jabera, which is power actually. And power is all about deconstruction and reconstruction. It's about new energy. It's about new horizons, new frontiers, if you will. But those things have been very potentially explosive up until this point. Trying to move forward has been very difficult and very challenging up until this point. We are getting to a place of for some people, there's opportunities, a huge amount of opportunity coming. It feels almost miraculous as well. It feels miraculous. It feels like suddenly things are very different, and it really does shake you. It really does shake things up. It shakes your life up. Now we've got the Chariot, number 7. Number 7 is my master number. Number 7 is the number of mysteries, and that's the questions that we ask. You know, what do I need? What do I want? What do I understand? The affirmation is actually I am, I understand. Number 7 is linked to Cancer, actually. I've just read for Cancer. And we've got our yin and our yang, or our divine masculine and our divine feminine, or a balance between the things that we do actually account for the things, take into consideration the things that we feel. The things that we feel affect directly the actions that we take. This is how we balance the yin and the yang, our divine masculine and our divine feminine, and that's what helps to propel us forward to move into new frontiers. And that's exactly what you do. You're actually acknowledging how you feel. You're actually listening to how you feel, and how you feel, and your intuitive sense, if almost, is helping to guide to dictate your actions in a really positive way, in a way that really does shake things up. There might be it's hard because my best friend's a Scorpio, and obviously I know her and I know her life, and she it's hard because I know her situation, and so it's I'm trying not to read for her, and I don't usually read for her, but it's as if this is really significant for her life. I'm trying to, separate this reading from her life, if that makes sense, and from her specific situations. But there really is a sense of, finally, I can look at these cards now. There's a sense of things are gonna change quite drastically. A situation or in your favour, in the month of February, but you have to allow something. You have to make allowances for somebody or something in order for that situation to happen. But it's what you need and what you want anyway. It's right for you. There's a new, maybe something's offered. The energy of these cards, I can't I do apologize. I don't apologize, actually, because that's the reality of how I read with the cards. Now, there's a very strong message coming through, and my eyes are hurting me, and the energy of this card is extremely powerful. It's very, very powerful. You might be able to feel it from where you're sitting, because I cannot look at this card, and it's very difficult for me to give you a reading right now, but I'm going to persevere. There is let's talk about the energy. Number 1, new beginnings, new starts, new action. This is what is happening with the Ace of Wands. Wand energy is related to your life force, your ki, your chi, your energy, the thing that animates you, your passions, the areas that you're drawn to, the things that you're naturally drawn to do, naturally that are appealing to you, this instinctively or instinctually appealing to you. That's what the wand energy represents. So we've got a new start, a new beginning of you being drawn in a specific direction. You're listening to your intuition and you're acting on it. You're listening to what you feel, to what you think, to what your perspective is. You're listening to that, and that is what's helping to propel you forward. Now, remember, this is all based on your joy and your happiness. It's based on what actually brings you joy and happiness. So there's an energy of that here, of that being your priority, that becoming your priority. Now, with this energy here, the Four of Pentacles here, it suggests that there's been a certain amount of waiting, or there's been a certain amount of, it's taken time to get here. It's taken time for you to get here. So there's some attachments that you've formed. You know, you're attached, even though sometimes we can be in difficult situations, but we can stay there because it's hard to, because it's what we know. So if there's been a disagreement between you and another person, for example, you can't come to an agreement about something up until this point, you've not managed to. Sometimes it's just easier in a way to stay in the disagreement because at least we know what that looks like. We understand this energy. If we move out of this energy into something new, then it's scary. This is that type of energy here. This the consolidation energy of the Four of Pentacles. Now remember, Pentacles energy is where we put our energy and effort in order to manifest our security. So this is about you, yes, establishing a new sense of security or trying to establish a new sense of security. And I feel like this is what you are able to do, and you're victorious in this. You're victorious, which means you're able and you do get what it is you need in order to establish this new sense of security, even though it's taken a while to get there. Whatever and however you navigate your path, the decisions that you actually make, or the choices that you take in the month of February, it's leading you toward joy. It's leading you toward the acknowledgement that what you feel matters, and you acting in that way, behaving in that way. So that means that if a situation's been ongoing for some time, you may be, I don't see that necessarily here, just give you an example. You may be saying, okay, I want to end this situation now and I'm going to do this. I don't feel like it's going to be you though. I think it's going to be the other person or the other people. You've got something to celebrate because you've been true to yourself. But I don't feel as if you're the one going to be making concessions necessarily. I feel like it might be other people that are making concessions to you. Maybe there's been some unfair treatment, but you've stayed true, and the things that you've done have really been about compassion, not just for yourself but for the people. Now, and even though it's been hard and difficult, there's definitely new energy coming in, and a new situation, a complete new situation, a resolution almost of the old and of what's been, into a brand new way where you can be happy, where all parties concerned can be happy. So let's look at the new beginnings then. Let's look at what's going on beneath the surface emotionally, intuitively. We've got the Ace of Cups, we've got the Strength card, we've got the Wheel of Fortune, and we've got the Seven of Swords. Interesting. The Ace of Cups, obviously we know that's related to a new emotional beginning. Cups energy is related to our emotions. I've already said this about 4 times, so I won't repeat, but you know what Cups is related to. And Aces, number 1, again, are about new beginnings, auspicious new beginnings, luck, miracle, things that feel miraculous, you know, things that feel maybe really fast moving, really passionate, really lucky, for example. That's what aces are linked to. So when we have the Ace of Cups here, it means that's how you're feeling inside. Now we know that there's heightened feelings of joy over the next 6 weeks for you because we have the 10 of Cups here. So we know there's heightened joy. We've got the 6 of Wands as well, which tells us that. But again, now we've got this with the Ace of Cups. So within you, you feel renewed. You feel blessed almost. You have been in a situation for some time that has been challenging, but you've stayed the course, and now it was challenging, but really you sort of were on that path because you understood that the path that you were on was going, no matter how challenging it was going to lead you to finding joy and peace and happiness within yourself, for yourself. And this is really what seems to happen. You're acknowledging the importance and the significance of your feelings, your emotions, your intuition, your memories. You're acknowledging that you matter. You're giving yourself that compassion, and maybe that is a change for you. I don't know, but you're acknowledging that, and that feels beautiful and revolutionary to you as an individual. It for love, if this is what's going on beneath the surface, because divine masculine, divine feminine, obviously this could be about love as well. It could be, you know, new love coming in, and you know, they seem so dramatic, these cards, don't they? And sometimes you read tarot. I mean, obviously I read tarot most months, and I'm a Capricorn, I read for Capricorn, I'm like, oh my god, and you know, if you get a love is question, oh my god, I'm going to fall in love, But it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to fall in love. Or it might mean that it's just like a cheeky flirt, or, you know what I mean? And it could just be that. It doesn't have to be as dramatic as you're going to meet the love of your life and fall in love with them forever and ever and ever, amen. It could, it could be, you flirt for the first time in years. You've not flirted with anyone, or there's chemistry, or what, it could be something small like that. But what I'm saying is, if we look at this energy, it is about new experiences, and it's about feeling differently. It's about feeling new or renewed or reborn. And this could be in a relationship, in love, but it could just be for you as an individual as well. Okay. Now we know this situation's ongoing. It's taken a long time for all this flower to settle in the air, so we can see a way forward. It's taken a long time for that to happen, and we know this indicated by these cards here as well. Okay, so we've got the Strength card now, number 8. The Strength card is linked to Leo, the fire sign, and the purity of fire is about the fact that it burns, obviously, and it consumes, but it's restorative. And that's what this really, I want to say about this card. It's as if you've had to dig deep. You've had to work hard to get to where you are, to get to feeling how you're feeling now. You've had to really, and it could be inner work, meditation, mindfulness, counselling, talking about your feelings, whatever it is, reflecting on that, reading books, whatever it is. It has been all consuming almost at times, beyond frustrating. Your mind has been consumed with this situation, with this person, with this love, with this job, whatever it is. Your mind's been consumed, but that is also restorative. And that's the sort of dichotomy of the number 8 and the karmic cycle, that it feels destructive, but it's actually constructive. It's actually building something. It's actually creating or recreating and transforming you. And that's what this situation has done. It's actually helped to transform you from the inside out. And that's really what this card in this, and it's demanded a huge amount of strength, but you do feel stronger now because of the path that you've walked. And as I said, it's as if you're victorious because of this, for some reason. I don't know what's going to happen, but I don't know what the specifics, I should say, for your life will be. But there's definitely obviously change going to come. I said this already, but there's definitely changes coming. But there's a renewed or a new feeling of strength, of confidence, of capability, and of compassion for yourself, and of recognizing that the how hard it's been in 2019. We know how hard. We're all still a bit haunted, I think, aren't we, from 2019? We're all still a bit shaken, but we made it. But it's as if you now realise that that's actually brought you strength, and that's the joy of the Strength card. But it's also the joy of the number 6 as well. Now we have the Wheel of Fortune. So this is again what you're feeling, what's going on beneath the surface, what's hidden from you, what you're feeling intuitively, what you're feeling emotionally. We've got this Wheel of Fortune, so we've got another 10 here, and we've got this change coming through. So this is whether you're wanting to change something, whether change happens in your life, just comes about. This, again, a cheeky flirt, you might, there might be someone, you might have a new neighbour, for example, a new next door neighbour, or you might have a new person at work, and there's a bit of an attraction there. And it's not anything, it doesn't have to be like you're going to fall in love with this person and you live happily ever after. It doesn't have to be that, but even noticing that you're doing that is great, because it shows that you're not consumed totally by this situation, whatever it's been for you. You're no longer consumed completely by the past situation or by the struggles that you've been going through. You can see that things are changing and moving on in your life, and you can feel it, and you can see it. You can see that happening now. You're hearing the birds sing, and you're noticing you're noticing the breezes, and you're just noticing things differently. Things aren't as heavy now as they have been in 2019, as they potentially were also in January as well. So you're noticing those changes. But then we have this card here, the 7 of Swords. So sword energy is about your thoughts, your mind. It's about your awareness and your engagement with your awareness. And this number seven, as I said, It's always about what we understand. It's about the mysteries of our life, the questions that we must ask. So this is about your understanding of something. And this can be about us hiding from ourselves and refusing to ask those questions, refusing to engage fully with the truth of what's in my mind. There could be that. It could also be there's something that's stopping you from, not stopping you. You're not. This is why I talk about the Four of Pentacles being a card of consolidation, because it's about trying to understand what it is I love, what it is I need, what it is that's going to satisfy me. Trying to understand, and with the two being like this, it's like there's some doors you don't want to open. It's like, for example, I shouldn't talk about my friend on here, but this might be like my friend getting back with her ex-boyfriend and knowing that that's what she wants to do on some level, but trying to not think about that. Does that make sense? And it could be a similar thing for you, something that you're trying to understand with the Seven of Swords, but and the Four of Pentacles. You're trying to understand something so you can bring about, so that you can start behaving differently or acting differently or approaching things differently. Trying to think about that and to break that down and to understand it, but there's still a barrier somewhere where you're not allowing yourself to acknowledge something that you're thinking, something that you're feeling. So you apply that to your life. You know where you're at in your life, but that's kind of the energy there. So apply it. Let's look into at the end of February and the first week of March then, shall we? So we've got the Five of Swords, okay, and we've got the Three of Cups. We've got the Queen, I nearly said, the Nine of Pentacles, and the King of Swords. Okay, good. Okay, so it's beautiful, to be fair, this reading, because this has been the most intuitive reading of the day, to be fair, because I'm not even looking at the cards really, because there's too much energy coming off them. It's quite hard when it's like that. But what I am feeling for you is you're going to be feeling a bit more vulnerable, but in a way that you want to. It's like you wanna do things differently. You wanna start communicating differently. There's no point hiding the truth of how you feel. There's no point hiding the truth of what it is you want, regardless of what that means for everybody else, or for anybody else. You know now. You understand now what's necessary, and you're able to. There's like a new opportunity coming for some of you as well, like something new coming into your life. There's something new coming into your life, and whether it's a person, a job, whatever, I don't know, a house, I don't know, whatever. But there's something new coming into your life, and some of you are, because not some of you, all of us, whenever something new comes into our life, we're skeptical. We don't know how it's going to be. We don't know how we're going to respond to it. We think, everyone has questions about this new thing that's coming into our life, and that's kind of what you're doing. You're questioning this new thing, this new situation, this new person, this new love, this new job, whatever. But what the Five of Swords tells us is that it's time to change your perspective. It's like some people are optimists. They're not, but we'll go along with it. Some people are optimists, some people are pessimists. I'm a realist. And this is like you are being a pessimist in a way with the Five of Swords. This indicates that you need to change that perspective about yourself. This is like saying, oh my God, like, oh, my relation, really quick example, and it's an example not necessarily specific to anybody. Oh my God, all my relationships have never worked, and now there's a new relationship coming in, and all my relationships always end in the same way. They never work out. All guys are the same. All women are the same. Whatever it is. This card indicates that come end of February, beginning of March, that is the type of thinking that you need to change. Okay, you need to Oh, Tiny's here. Oh, come on, Tiny. You know what was the message then? That type of thinking you need to change. And I repeat it because Tiny only comes He's been lying down, sleeping all day, you know, on the bed. And now he's here. Hang on, let me get him so you can see him. Come on. Oh, I love baby. Right, you say hello to Scorpios. Come on, say hello, then I can get back to reading. Say, he's hello, Scorpio. Did you hear him? He can speak English. No, I can't. Good boy, you sit on me, sitting on my knee. You're sitting on my knee now, aren't you? Okay. So, isn't that interesting that Tiny came at that exact moment? He's been sat there for 3 hours, and now he's coming. So, this is the message. You know, there's that whether you consider yourself to be an optimist or a pessimist or a realist, it makes no difference. They're just labels that we use that are meaningless, but whatever. I digress. What I'm saying is there's an aspect that is the perspective that you need to change and that you can change. So if you've thought, oh, my relationships are all rubbish, they never work out, all my guys are the same, all women are the same, everyone's the same, blah, 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 whatever the way of thinking is that you have, that's the thing that needs to change. That's the thing that is going to change. And that perspective is what needs to shift. Fives are related to change, but they're also related to our expression and the expression of our inner voice. So that is also linked with its sword energy to our awareness as well, isn't it? It's also linked to us knowing and understanding and acknowledging what it is I'm thinking, what it is I feel for true, for real. And that is the thing that needs to shift. That's the part of the process of change that you're going through as you enter March and as we go in that first week of March, because it's not that it's been holding you back. It's not that it's been holding you back. That's how you might perceive it, but it's not. It's necessary that you're in these situations so that you can begin to know yourself. Then we have next the 3 of Cups, so Cups energy again about our emotions. Number 3, I love the number 3. This is linked to your solar plexus and your soul, really. And this is about your self-confidence, your self-esteem, manifestation, your passion, your true authentic self. And this is like I always think about this card as this is like the universe celebrating with you, going like, yes, you're on the right track, yes, go for it. This is like you knowing what you can do and feeling supported, feeling it's right, feeling you can do this, feeling that you're ready to do this, feeling like it's important that you are who you are. You know, we have this, I didn't even realize we've got 7 and 8 here, and then this 3. So it means that the moves that you're making are real, are true, and are authentic to you and to where you're at in your life right now. So do it, because the universe is celebrating you, this, and your guides, your help, whatever you call it, the God or your angels, whatever you call it, they're celebrating you, or it's celebrating you this in March, okay? So you're doing the right thing, whatever that is for you as an individual. We then have the 9 of Pentacles. So Pentacles, again, where we put our energy and effort in order to manifest security. So we're in this new space now where you're not newly confident, but you're appreciative and recognize the importance of the things that you've been doing and the place that you now stand. You had to really fight for what it is you've got now. You had to really muster all your strength, emotional strength and physical strength and mental strength to get to March, to get to this first week of March, to get to the situation that you're in this first week of March, to get to this happiness and this joy. It was really a long process for you, but one that you can now be looking at yourself and saying, do you know what, I've done well, I'm happy, I've done good, and you have done good. You've done well. That's not good England, is it? No, I know how to speak English. I just messing about. Okay. I'm gonna have a break after this, don't worry. Okay, so then we get the King of Swords. So the King of Swords, all the court cards, so the kings, the queens, the pages, the knights, they're all really about changes that we go through, changes that are necessary for our awareness, for our growth. And this is about one of the changes that you'll be going through is this feeling confident, mentally strong, confident in speaking your truth. You're going to be having more honest, and it's not as if it's not like you lie, But you know you, and there's only you that knows you, isn't there? The real you. I mean, you know, we can be a certain way to our family and to our friends and to our loved ones and our partners, but sometimes we keep parts of ourselves to ourselves. You are not willing to do that anymore. Not in a sort of in a bad way, but just in a way of like, you realize the significance of your truth. You know, I say on my Instagram and my Facebook, you are worthy, act accordingly. And this is you doing that. This is you speaking your truth, being true to yourself. And actually, that in itself is what helps you to feel strong and confident. Not because it's not the sort of I'm going to swear, bullshit that people have been saying and that you've been believing all your life. It doesn't change your reality, and you're in that place where you now understand it doesn't matter if everyone else thinks that this is just an example. It doesn't matter if everyone else thinks that, you know, people shouldn't have green hair. This is frivolous, I know. I know that green hair is important to me. Regardless if everyone else tells me I'm stupid for having green hair, this is what I want to do. Doesn't mean I feel differently just because everyone's saying one thing. So I'm going to just have my green hair. And I'm going to tell everybody that it's important that this is what I do, that I'm going to have green hair because I want green hair. Even if you all think I look stupid, it don't make no difference to my reality. I'm going to do it. That's like having that conversation. So whatever the green hair is for you, relationship, job, money, children, whatever, getting back with your ex, whatever, this is you recognising and acknowledging that your truth matters. And not only recognising and acknowledging it, but acting on it, because it's masculine, so it's about the actions that you take, okay? And that's a change for you, a change where you're recognising that, I know that you keep saying that I shouldn't do this because for this reason. I hear you, but it hasn't changed my reality, and I'm now at the point where that's what I'm going to listen to. I'm going to listen to me, to what I feel, to what I know is going to make me happy, or to what I know is going to bring me the most joy. And that is where I'm going, and I'm going to do it. And I appreciate your input, but I'm sticking to my green hair or whatever. Does that make sense? So this is that energy. So there's a real confidence coming through for you in the month of, what month are we in? In the month of February and March, I should say. There's a real confidence coming through to you. You've been through it a little bit. I'm going to stop reading now because it's quite an intense reading this. I'm going to stop because otherwise I won't get any more done today. You know, I feel for you, Scorpio, that it is time for you. I can see there's victory coming, and it's other people. This is a very internal reading. This is a very spiritual reading. It's a very, it's a reading about your inner self, about your intuitive and emotional self, about your soul self. That's what this reading's about, and it's about the evolution of that. Remember, Scorpio, your card in the tarot is not Temperance, that's Sagittarius, is the Death card, and that card is about transformation. And what transformation is it's about. Let me give you an example of what transformation is. No, I can't be bothered getting the book. In the Tibetan Book of the Dead, which is over there, but I can't bother getting it because I'll tie it on my knee. In the Tibetan Book of the Dead, I was reading the 42 and 48 peaceful and wrathful deities. And all that means is respectively, and all deities are basically these. They're basically the individual tarot cards. They're basically the energy of change, the things that we go through. And one of them, for example, might say, I can't remember if it's a peaceful or wrathful. Sorry, I can't remember if it's masculine or feminine. It's, for example, your perception of things that you see, objects, for example. So that's peaceful, actually. That's peaceful deities. That's one of the, I can't remember if it's divine masculine or feminine though. So basically what I mean by this is why I don't talk to you guys about this, because I'm here all day. But basically what that means is that how I perceive this object will change. That's basically one of the things. So how I perceive objects will change. So at one part of life. When I'm maybe 5 years old, I might perceive this as a toy. And when I'm 20 years old, I might perceive this as a representation of the Buddha. And when I'm today, I perceive this object as my auntie. Don't ask me why. It's not my auntie. I know, I can see what it is, but I can perceive it as her. Now, what that means I call her my auntie because that's how she used to look, bless her. So she used to have a big belly and she used to smile a lot. No, it's not my auntie. I know this is a representation of. It's not of Buddha, actually, is it? Anyway, but you see my point. My point is that our perceptions can shift and can change, and how we see an object or how we see a person or how we see a situation can change. And there's a lot of that going on for you in the month of February and March. Your perception of a situation or a circumstance is changing massively, and that perception and the reason you're able to change that perception is because of your acknowledgement of your truth. It's because you're able to say to yourself, this is truly how I feel, this is truly what I think, this is truly what I want. And just by you having that acknowledgement of this is really truly what I feel, think, want, whatever, just by you acknowledging that is in itself is a victory. The victory, there may be though, and I feel like there's an outside thing, there's something from the outside that's coming in that helps to bring about, that helps to make you see that things have changed, that helps to make you feel stronger and more confident. I hope that makes sense to you. I'll leave it there because otherwise I'll be here all day. But if Tiny came, and Tiny's been here, and this is the first, isn't it, Tiny? This is the first reading at Tiny Doggy. Hang on, you can see him. This is the first reading that Tiny Doggy's come to, hasn't it? The first one. So that means that this is a very significant one for you guys, okay? You must listen to that message. Your perception of something must change and will change and should change in February and in March. Okay, my darlings, I hope you liked that reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Follow Key Wisdom Tarot on Instagram and on Facebook. I'll be giving extra little snippets this month. I'll be talking a lot this year, I should say. I'll be talking a lot more about engaging with your awareness and engaging with your reality. So I'll be doing a lot of that on Instagram and on Facebook. But I will be adding extra videos in the Key Wisdom playlist throughout the course of the year. The Key Wisdom playlist, you can find everything from mindfulness, meditation, Reiki, and tarot, additional information. I'll be so keep an eye out on that, and as I said, subscribe and click the bell for notifications. Scorpio, thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a wonderful February and March, and I will see you all again at the end of February for your brand new reading. Take care, my darlings. Bye.